I'm totally down, you hit me.
Why Romeo and Juliet?
Why cover that song?
Well, how did you discover it? That song, I've never heard it until I heard this cover.
Well, so I first heard it because the band Dire Straits that did it had a version of it, obviously, that I loved. And I heard that first when I lived in France, which is a crazy thing to say. It's not nearly as bougie as it sounds. But my French mother had a copy of this record, Dire Straits, and the single was called Roller Girl, which is an incredible song. And then Romeo and Juliet's on the record. And Romeo and Juliet's like a masterpiece of a song. And I remember discovering it, being like, oh, this is incredible. Then Amy from the Indigo Girls covered it on Rites of Passage. And I just remember going, holy shit, like she cracked it open. And so on that At the Point record, I covered that literally just that night. I'd never done it. I was in New York the night before at a friend's house. She was like, you know, it's a great song, Romeo and Juliet. And then I went to the point and I was like, you know, it's a great song, Romeo and Juliet. And I just like had the lyrics. I got the chords wrong. And I've been listening to that record a lot lately because we're going to re-release it on vinyl in the fall. So At the Point is going to be re-released, and then I'm going to go on tour next year just by myself like this. Like in really small places. Like multiple nights in small rooms like we used to do it, because I miss this. And doing this kind of stuff in the hoedown tent really reminds me of like how much more fun it is to just sit and connect. That's fun too, don't get me wrong. But that's a lot of like, how you doing? You know, like, woo, you feeling this? Yeah, yeah. And people are like, ah. And I like it, I miss connection. And I miss togetherness. So yeah, Romeo and Juliet was literally just that night. I was like, let's try it. And I think I had the lyrics written on a pizza box. And when we made that record, I forgot about this, but in making this new vinyl, I asked folks to send pictures, and they reminded me that there was a no camera rule. And then the person who took all the photos for the record, I told her, I can't pay you because I'm an independent person, but I can fly you and put you up in a hotel if you should. Like, sure. And then like as soon as she shot all the pictures, she got home and she's like, I called her, I'm like, how do the pictures look? She's like, great, I think I need to be paid. And so I was like, hey, go fuck yourself. And then I went to the Troubadour and just shot photos of myself with my buddy. And sure enough, this is how I shoot myself in the foot in the world. So I did that, we put that on the cover, it was great, it worked out perfect. And then maybe 3 years ago, she reached out and was like, I just want, hey, just checking in, like, things have been going so well for you, and wonder if we could maybe bury the hatchet. And I was like, nope. Literally like the worst. I was just like, nah, no, you sucked. And you put me over a barrel, and that's uncool, so have a good life. And then all of a sudden we're reissuing this record and I can't find the cover. And I'm like, if I hadn't said that, we could have had like the real original photos. But anyway, I made it work. Whenever you shoot yourself in the foot, you hobble to the next available option, which is the way I live my entire life. So, long story longer, we asked people to send in photos. They said we didn't get to have a camera, but some people snuck photos in. And they sent them, and I realized that I played most of the second show in my underpants because we were recording it, but my belt was knocking against the guitar. And so we were recording, and I was like, what are we gonna do? And so there's these pictures of me just half naked at the point, like playing so that I can record the, it was incredible. I was like, does anybody remember? Like, oh yeah, you took your pants off. I mean, I had underpants on, but that was it. And a shirt, and sweat, and it looks crazy. I look like a crazy, young, half-naked man. So I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but long story longer, that's why I covered Romeo and Juliet.